Hello everyone, welcome to Bargain Gaming, where we can play excellent games without busting our wallets. In this episode, let us discuss something. After playing through Nioh, I guess this would be a good place where we can pass on some of the things we learned in Nioh regarding crafting. Now, in this game, any equipment, any items we found, any equipment, weapons or armor, most of the weapons and armor that we find can be crafted and upgraded. Now, so therefore, most of the items we find are either components, or weapons and armor that we find can be broken down or disassembled into components. And we also, every mission we go through, we find components and we pick up gold. So most of the stuff that we find can either be broken down or can be sold. So, and crafting will be dependent on crafting. Actually, in this case, has multiple components to it, multiple compositions. So crafting can be done at the starting point by going on to the blacksmith. And in the blacksmith, we can buy and sell items. And in the buy items, going to this tab using R1, once we have rescued the master and he comes back, this one sometimes offer purple items like this, and it's very so it makes sense to come in here and check on this page every time we come back. And then also this page is that these are consumable items like arrows, rifle ammunition, and hand cannon ammunitions. So these three items are also consumables, and we'll be using a lot of them in the game. So it's always good to come back and come to this screen. And then whenever we see a screen like this, on this screen, so we are allowed to forge items. So we can forge weapon, armor, or tools. Tools are items that, like, these are like Shinjuku medicine. So if we have the parts for it, like hank of yokai hair, we can spider's leg, so we can make those things. And then these are the components of forging weapons and armor. So these components are different kinds and different qualities. This is quality Tamahagane, high quality, and highest quality. So all of them can now, like this quality Tamahagane comes from Tamahagane. So we have 16 of those, and to make a quality one we need 10. So if we press on this, it will give us, we can make one. So, and then if we come down here, it says, and we press on X, it says, and then pressing down on the D-pad, it says we can make 14 out of 14. So, and then so on and so forth. So here we down on the D-pad and we can make 17 of those. So that means there are 4 levels of material when we are forging our equipment. So we can do tools. Tools are the ones or materials, or for equipment, not equipment, things that will help us in terms of medicine, anyway, all those things. And then we can make armor or weapons. Now in our weapons, so we can make all kinds of weapons available, but these are based on recipes that we have picked up. And then that's why, and then armor is the same thing. These are available to us only because we have picked up the recipes for those. And recipes can be found on most missions, side quests, sub-missions, main missions. Most of them will come from sub-missions. And so whenever we see a submission, it makes it important for us. It's necessary for us to go and finish that mission, because the reward is the recipe or recipes. So crafting, to be able to be good at crafting, we will have to do. In fact, in this game, I've done most of the missions. The missions that we're currently seeing are missions after the game. So after we've finished the game, but you know, there is now other side missions that popped up after we finished the main storyline. And then after finishing those side missions, we can go into New Game Plus. And now we're New Game Plus, the lure there, or the bait there, is for us to acquire divine weapons. And we can combine 2 of equal level divine weapons to get a +1 divine weapon. And then 2 +1s to get a +2 divine weapon. Anyway, so those things I have not explored, but that's supposed to be how this game will keep us playing the game. So aside from spawning new side missions, new Twilight missions for every missions that we complete, this is a really a huge game, and if you cannot get enough of it, it will keep delivering. So there is no problem if we're interested in continuing forward. Now, in terms of crafting, I would say there are 3 levels to crafting. Here we can craft the items that we just talked about. Weapons, different kinds, depends on what our penchant is or what kind of build we want. Armor, also different kinds. We can have light, medium, or heavy armor. And then that is, for me, the cheapest cost, meaning in terms of components and in terms of gold or cost. Now, the second level of crafting, I would say, or the second aspect of crafting is that, say in this case, we want to make a weapon. So let's say, since we are a Kusarigama person, we can go to Kusarigama, press X, and then we are given the different kind of components for Spy Kusarigama. This is the best. See, this is the best Kusarigama we can get. It delivers the highest 812 points of damage. So the others don't do as much. And the other thing is that the specialty here is we have 6 items of the Hank of Yokai hair, so we can do this. So in this place, we can go to the highest quality ingot, and then we can go to the highest quality tamahagare, and then we can go to the highest quality lacquer. And then of course there's only 1 level of Hank of Yokai hair. Oh, but before we do that, crafting and loot drops is very, very dependent. I don't know if I'm wrong on this or not, but very dependent on the kind of luck we have. So I'm usually trying to do that. I get my luck up to its highest available, and this is based on the charms or talismans, the charms that we have picked up. So this one does this charm gives us 28 luck, and this charm gives us 25 luck. And then the other one that I said is we have to go to the shrine, and we have to go to the spirit guardian, which is Itokuri, which gives us the third line, guardian, spirit, and luck. So the third line is luck. We have 50 plus 50. So right now, if we look at our character screen, pressing R1, we see at the 4th line our luck is 154. So we have plus 154. So when I'm farming or when I'm forging, luck plays a big deal on this. So we can go back to the blacksmith, and then let's forge an item. Let's forge a Kusarigama, and the Yashas is the best, right? So we go again for the highest grade. So at the top part in the middle of the screen, we will see that rarity level of forged item, because we're using, so white is 24%, yellow is 27. So these are the grades. The white is the lowest level, yellow is like uncommon, and then light blue is rare, and then purple is like unique items. So we are using these, so we will try to get a unique item. So that's why if we use all the highest quality, we have a 35% chance of popping a unique, a purple. So Yank of Yokai Hair. So, and then our luck is at its highest based on what we have on. It will cost us 1,948 gold. So let's press X to say forge. Yes. Whoa, we got a white one. Okay. Now presuming, see, so but it's a level 150. So it's a level 150. So with a high, yeah, add that to inventory. So if we go to, okay, so now assuming if we assuming if we had gotten a purple one, the next level, the next aspect of forging, which is a lot more expensive, but still I would say consider this a second level of cost, is let's say we go to the weapons and let's say we see if we do have a Kusarigama. Okay, anyway, we got a divine weapon. I got these Yasha's Kusarigama. It's only 139. No, Shishido. You got a Samu. Okay, this is Shishido. This is what I got. I got this from farming though, and then anyway, assuming we get Shiranui, Jonins. Wow, we don't have. Oh. Okay, so assuming we use this Hachiyasu Kusarigama, let's say that's the one we want to reforge. So that means we can now go to this line and press low attack damage. So it will cost us 2 spirit iron chunk. On the lower right hand corner you'll see we have 93 spirit iron chunk, and it will cost 2 spirit iron chunk and a reforging cost of 6,700 gold to change the characteristics of that particular item. So if we press X on that one, that will become cloudy. And then, so if we want to really go ahead and that's the item we want to change, that particular ability of the weapon, just press reforge. And suddenly we have parry critical. So parry critical, I don't think is such a good thing. Again, the color suggests the kind of benefit, what kind of level. Again, you have white, which is the most common. Yellow would be uncommon. And then the light blue, which is the weakened armor and the ninjutsu damage bonus. These are light blue. Those are rare. And then so fire damage weapon. This is not a fire-based weapon, so that's a useless point for us. But again, see, we're using 6,700, which is try and consuming 2 spirit chunks. Close combat attack, enemy electrified. No, we don't have there's no. But if we high attack break, oh, these are all common. So close combat attack, enemy out of key. Anyway, so that is the second medium cost level. And once we have, assuming we have that, the highest cost of crafting is in refashion is just to change the look of the item. Sometimes we want something to look like the Kurasigama, like the weapon has a different look. So like this, we go to our Kusarigama. This has like the Rasatsu has a axe looking has an axe looking thing like level 150. The Shishido is very sharp. Yasha has 3 prongs to it. So if we want to change the look, we can do that. But I think that's all cosmetic. Then the third layer of soul matching is called soul matching, and this is the most expensive. The first time we soul match, that means when we soul match an item, what we will do is, let's say we have the Yasha Kusarigama. No, we have. Let's go back to the Kusarigama that we had. What was the Rasatsu? No, this is 147. So say what are the lower levels? Yasha. Yasha, this is only 139. Assuming we want this fire thing, so that would be our best weapon. So that's the item that we want to improve on. And the next item, we can use the Yasha Kusarigama we just made, which is a level 150. See, so that means the old Shiramui had a fire level of 10, has a weapon level of 137, and has a damage of 773. By soul matching it to the Yasha, we will increase the damage from 773 to 818. And then it will still have its old special effects benefits like fire, break, parry, and damage. Now, and it will cost us 155,000 gold. That's the first soul matching. And what I found out that is that soul matching of the first level is very expensive, as we see, 155. If we soul match this item again for another thing that is a higher level, the cost of soul matching is extremely steep. It just, the second level is, if this 150, we're talking about over $1 million plus. If the third time we're soul matching this item for another higher item, it'll be in the millions. It's like, it's just ridiculously amount of money. So soul matching primarily is, what I do for soul matching would be like, we have the Shiramui, right? So the Shiramui doesn't have an inheritable item. But if we soul match it with a lower level item, sometimes the inheritable item is the one with the 2 blocks to it with like a connector in the between. It says in this case, the Omikiba Kusarigama has an enemies defeated yellow, enemies defeated damage bonus of C-. Those that are preceded by those 2 little blocks commonly are like this one. See, we can, so it is not always the case that those inheritable effects are inheritable. But this Nokizaru Kusarigama has a low attack damage, can now be inherited by Shiramui. And look, if we are using a lower level weapon, this is only level 66, while the Shiramui is 137. We are not improving the Shiramui's weapon level. However, we are giving it a specific special effect, which is a low attack damage. And so we're giving it an additional one. And so if it already has an inheritable item, this one will overwrite that one. When I say overwrite, it is only because the Nikazaru Kusarigama, we are fully familiarized with it. Only fully familiarized weapons, the item can become inheritable. If it is not, it will not be passed on. Although in this case, the Ominikiba, so it is not. See, we are not fully familiar with it, so its inheritable item is not inherited. So be careful. We have to be careful. So if the inheritable effect of the item we have, we decide that one, we don't want it to be overwritten, because Nokizaru Kusarigama, we have 100% familiarity with it. It will overwrite whatever is Shiranui have, if it has one. So like this spy, we cannot. So again, we do not have that. So those are, so again, this one we can, like the spy we cannot, because and it's not very expensive. Like this one, consecutive damage, wow, it is very good. If it can inherit that. And then it goes back to one level lower until we hit the full familiarity in Shiranui. Then the D+ will go to C-. So in short, every time when we are farming and we come across weapons with an inheritable characteristic to it, that is attractive, I make it a point to farm using that particular weapon, so that we will develop a familiarity with it. And then once we pick up a higher grade level weapon that doesn't have an inheritable item or as effect, or has not such a desirable effect, we can always overwrite that one. So I would suggest that every time we go farming, that weapons that have an desired inheritable effect or benefit, we should improve our familiarity with that, and then we can always hold that in reserves or put it in our storehouse. In this game, the storehouse has a space of 4,000, so we can store 4,000 items in it, whereas our personal item box, if we press our L3, our personal item box is only a maximum of 500. That is still a lot. You know, this game is actually very generous in terms of capacity. So 4,000 for the storehouse and 500 for our personal carrying capacity. Anyway, so those are the 3 levels of crafting. So in other words, so my rule for the game, whenever we are farming for items, weapons, and armor. Early in the game, all the armor and weapon drops, I use disassemble. So what we do is, when we go to the blacksmith and we disassemble stuff, so all the items like Yasha Kursari, this is a white one. So when we disassemble that one, we get Tamahagane 3. So if we use a yellow one, we get a spirit iron fragment and wood. If we do the blue ones, we get a wood and a spirit iron chunk rather than fragment. This is a fragment, that is a chunk. And then divine weapons have divine chunks, divine fragment. And then purple ones have spirit iron chunk 2 rather than 1. So those items are, so that's why we have to break a lot of items to get those things. And that is why I would recommend that in early part of the game, all weapons and armor drops should be disassembled. Once we hit the middle part of the game, all white and yellow type weapons are disassembled. And then blues, and sometimes blues are disassembled. Half of the blues are disassembled. The other half of the blues and half of the purple are also disassembled, and the other half I sell so that I get some money back, because it gets very, very expensive. So that's like my rule of thumb. And so again, the key would be to maintain weapons that has an inheritable item and develop our familiarity with it, so that they become source materials for future weapons, higher level weapons that we pick up. So, and then, like I said, that we have to investigate each and every mission we come across. So any mission that drops recipes, that drops weapons, all of those have to be done. And then we have to, and finally, I think here there is a glitch here, because we have a request for Tome, and so the more times we talk to her, she gives us points, and those points can be invested in these things like sell price markup. So our current sell price markup, every time we sell items to them, we get a better 25% in terms of price. So we get more gold. Purchase price discount, that's the discount we get, is 24%. So cheaper. And then the forging cost is also cheaper at 14. Now, barber menu, I didn't care about that. Additional stock, I think we should invest in this. I did not see this. Okay. And then additional special finds, yes. Let's invest in that one. Now this one, item shortcut, this represent these pages. Right now, when we go into our shortcut methods, this is where we put our stuff. So right now we have 3 shortcut menus. So if we put our so this is the first page, that's the second page, this is the third page. So right now the fourth page is not available to us. It will become available to us if we when we talk to Tomei here, pressing up on the triangle, and we speak to Tomei. So if we open this other shortcut, the problem here is that now we will have 4 pages for shortcuts, and these pages have to be cycled through using R2. And I am, like, again, I have dexterity issues, so I get confused. I wish I had not invested in one of these. Now I have to go through 3 pages rather than just 2 pages. Rather just clicking once on that and it just flips from one page to the next. Now I have to do 2 clicks to get back to the original page, or 3 clicks to get to the original page. So in the past it's just 2 clicks to get back to the original page. So 1 click to get to the alternate page. Now we have 3 pages. So if you invest another point in this, you will be clicking 4 times to get back to the original page, and that is a little bit on the confusing side. So I do not. That is now a something that is a personal preference. I would prefer to just keep it to 2 pages. Right now I have 3. I did not realize that was what it did. So anyway, okay. A final point to this is that to gain points so that we can invest it, so that we can get the discounts and all of those things, all the good stuff from her, is that it depends on how many times we speak to Tomei. So when we press X, without doubt. So the more times we speak to her like this, so just keep pressing X, we will gain more points. And what happens is that what we can do is, I did this while I was reading a book or watching TV, and I did it for a few hours. I would say maybe 2 or 3 hours. I would like to say 2 or 3 hours, maybe more. So where before we used some of them, right? Now it's back to 6. So assuming, so there's a little glitch here. So 6. Okay, I'm just doing X again. Just so we were 6, right? So this is the final point that I only found out late in the game. So, but apparently it's available right at the start of the game, and therefore I did not have to spend so much money and do so much farming because of all the discounts I could have gotten, but I did not. So I didn't know about it. So now that I know about it, I'm passing it on to you guys. I hope you profit from it. Oh, it's still 6, huh? No. Okay, let's go back to speak to. Oh, I think we maxed out because there's only so many points that we can put. We're maxed out. We're maxed out. See, we're maxed out. Okay. The other thing we can invest in is I have a request for this guy. Upper limit. Oh, now it's 505. See? Okay. Wow. I did not fully invest in this. Wow. Forge items and then refashioning cost. Okay. So anyway, so that's the last. This is not a game-breaking thing, but it is a tremendous help for if you're doing crafting. It will cut down a little bit on the amount of cost and the materials. So I hope this whole crafting session was helpful for you. It took me a while to learn all of these things. It's not the complete knowledge. It's like the tips for beginners that I did in the earlier episode. Both are what we picked up. I know there's still a lot of things in this game. Like I said, this is a huge, fantastically deep game. And the more you play it, the more things you find out. So these are just the early things that I found out that would have been extremely helpful for me when I was starting the game. I wish I had known about them. And I hope once you know about it, it will help you in your gameplay. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you will join me in the next game. Bye!